Okay, it's Dennis here from orangequant.com. It is really late Thursday night or early Friday morning, whatever you want to call it. Thursday night, June 10th, 2010. And I have a SPY forecast for you that's a daily and also a weekly forecast. So stick around. The logo should be gone in another 30 seconds or so. Meanwhile, you'll notice I haven't been doing a lot of regular forecasts lately. We're back up in the mid-80 percentile of accuracy with FLIR 2 and the tools in the FLIR 2 ebook. I encourage you to get it, if only because I can't always come in here with a forecast. You need to be able to do it for yourself. So, like I say, we're in the mid-80s as far as accuracy. It's a good deal. You go and get your copy today. Okay, there goes the logo. Now, starting with the weekly chart, you'll remember this chart here, which was in an earlier forecast, and it was supposed to start climbing back up along those synthetic trend lines that you see. And of course it has since that time. That's been about 2 or 3 weeks ago. It's been a rocky climb, but it has tended to hew to those trend lines, not getting up this far up to 112 yet, which is this week would be about, should have been, or could not should have been, but could have been about 112.50. And but anyway, that's the previous forecast. Now let's see how the weekly has continued and how it has changed. Alright, here is the current SPY weekly. And as I say, this is your current weekly chart, the way it's shaping up with the synthetic trend lines, which are approximately running at 45 degrees right now. This candle right here, this candle that I'm hovering over, that was the last candle. It was, or that one, or actually this one was the last candle shown on that previous chart. And then you see how it has begun to follow upward along that synthetic. Now, this long green line is hypothetical for next week. I'm not saying it will look like this, but I'm just pointing out the potential range on this thing, and that's what's important. So you can see that we still have some exposure all the way up to maybe 115, 116 for next week. And you remember I keep talking about the risk that this thing will run back to 118, 120, 121 maybe before the quarter ends. If you go back and look at the quarterly forecast, I am actually I'm losing concern about that, but it could still happen. Anyway, so our exposure for next week is all the way up to 115 and down to the 107, 108 range, as you can see. And looking back at that other chart again, you'll see that not only is this week an inflection, but also next week, so kind of a whipsaw effect setting up. And here that is again, the week of the 7th and the week of the 14th. And looking at it right now, this candle here, not the long green candle I drew in, but the one before it, that's this week, and you can see it looks to have set up a downward inflection, so I'm expecting next week to hit on up there, upward, be an upward inflection. And looking way out forward a bit, we've got an inflection coming for the week of July 12th, which will thankfully be after the end of this quarter. And of course, after the end of this quarter, we can revise our top end downward. I can't remember what that figure would be, maybe down to 117 or something like that. You'd have to go back and look at that forecast. So much for the weekly. Here's the daily. Yeah, we'll save that. Okay, this is what the daily looks like. You can see that today, Thursday, marked an inflection, I believe, according to the synthetics here. And so I'm expecting a down day, or expecting it to start downward tomorrow, Friday. And it's difficult to say what the lower end of this would be, or the top. We know that the top end, if this was an inflection today, the top end would have been just about the close of today, around 109.15. So we would not expect it to get above that. What we would expect is it to be lower, and it could get as low as about 106 or even a little less. So I'm looking for an entry Friday, because the weekly for next week says it should be going up on the synthetics, and this chart right here shows that it should be going down tomorrow, so I might get a decent entry. I've been too busy trading my own accounts and to do many forecasts. You got to get the FLIR 2 ebook, guys. It's a great tool and simple, easy to use. These trend lines are easy to construct. You just have to know how to figure it out. It takes you about, I would say, no more than 5 minutes per chart to set them up. And when you're good at it, you can do it in 3 minutes. Anyways, there's an inflection out here on the daily. I don't know how many days that is out. This other inflection, about 3 days out. So that might be like Wednesday of next week. You'd have to measure it up yourself and see what it is. Personally, for me, it's been a tough week trading because I couldn't get the entry price on my options that I wanted when I wanted it. They've been playing some games there, the usual games. So I have kind of sidelined myself this week and stayed at cash pretty much. But I think tomorrow I'm going to eat. So, you have fun out there. Be safe. Don't bet the farm and on any of this or anything else. And I'm sure you'll be profitable. Alright, I'm Dennis, orangequant.com. Take care and stay with me.